Hey guys, I just did a full golf TPI assessment, and let me just say the results were eye-opening. If you ever wondered why maybe you can't make some of those swing changes that your coach is asking, then I think that this video is for you. Okay guys, I'm here at the Vancouver Golf Performance. I'm here with Anton.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, yeah.
So can you just tell us a little bit what we're going to be doing today and the importance of implementing fitness with golf?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do today is a TPI screen, Titleist Performance Institute. They're based in the San Diego area. We'll take you through the screen. So it's a 16-point movement screen where we test your body in relation to how it moves in the golf swing, making sure that we're looking for efficient movement and no movement deficiencies that could potentially lead to some swing flaws as well as pain.
So let me walk you through some of my results and where I struggled. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch, documenting my journey along the way, showcasing my weekly lessons, different gears and gadgets that helps me improve. So if that sounds of interest to you, then hit that subscribe button and follow along on this journey with me.
How we do this is we like to call it monkey see, monkey do. So I will kind of demonstrate this, show you a little bit. I might give you a couple of directions, but then I just want to see how you move naturally.
Yeah.
And then we're going to imagine that your hips are a bucket of water. I want you to empty that bucket in front of you and then empty that bucket behind you. So,
Kind of like this, or?
yeah, we're looking for that. Yeah, there you go. With the first test in the shut-up posture, similar to what you talked about, that anterior pelvic tilt, you're a little bit tight in that area.
Yeah.
When we are set up in that position, it's going to be really hard to rotate backward because in the backswing, from a neutral position, as you go into the backswing, you're going to arch that back slightly.
Yeah.
If we're already arched at setup, it's going to be hard to rotate more because you're already set up in the rotated position.
Yeah.
So we'd like to see that a little bit more neutral. It was a little bit stiff and we're not quite able to control our pelvis the way we want to, And that is probably because of that tightness, that stiffness that we saw kind of in that setup posture.
Yeah.
We tend to have really tight hip flexors bringing us into that position. That means our glutes, our butt muscles are always lengthened and they kind of shut off a little bit. When they shut off, the lower back tends to take all the pressure and we get back injuries.
I thought that I had pretty good separation in my swing until I did this test.
We're gonna do the exact opposite. Upper body's in cement and now we're just rotating that lower body. Rotating it back and forth.
This one seems harder.
Yeah. Go in there, kind of rotating back and forth. Good, relax for me. Do you feel like that was a little bit easier when I put my hands on your shoulder?
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of a stability issue. So actually the upper body rotation was pretty good.
Yeah.
And when we're trying to separate the lower body to move without the upper body, that's when we see a little bit of trouble, a little bit of a stability issue. As we get into the backswing, we want the hips to lead the upper body, leading the arms, and then the club into impact, right? And if we're not able to do that, what tends to happen is people get in the backswing and then they get a little bit stuck, so they throw their arms at it, and that means we're coming over the top. We're kind of throwing and then trying to get into that follow through. That's not a very efficient way to move through the golf swing. So being able to separate the two body parts is going to really help with that sequence of the lower body leading the upper body. So we tend to see things like over the top, like I said. We even tend to see standing up towards the ball when we get fatigued because we're not able to separate the two body parts. So those are some things that also we would need to work on, that separation of the two body parts.
I'm feeling tired. I played golf yesterday and I ran 9 kilometers the day before. I've been chasing a deeper backswing for months, but with shoulder mobility like this, I never stood a chance.
And then we're just gonna rotate back as far as you can. Good. And then bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
This was not as good.
Yeah, a little bit stiffer here. On the right side there, we're equal to our spine angle. So if my spine is in this angle, if my spine is in this angle, you're getting about that far with the shoulder. On the other side, we're a little bit less than our spine angle. Ideally, we want to be past spine angle, but the right side is a little less limited. The left side is quite limited. In the backswing, obviously, it's really important to be able to shallow the club or stay in that position so we don't do that baseball swing where we get a nice wide elbow. We want that a little bit more tucked in the backswing. In the downswing, if we're not able to kind of rotate that shoulder through, we tend to see people often pull up a little bit and do that, what we call chicken wing.
Yeah.
So kind of pulling up there in the follow through,
Yeah.
when we really want to rotate through in that shoulder.
This next test is a great example of how connected the body is.
I'm gonna have you put this on the thin part of your lower back here. I'll just show you real quick. I don't want any room in that lower back, so if I pull this band, it doesn't come out. As far as you can. And what we're looking for there is obviously us being able to kind of keep that lower back against the wall, which is gonna lock everything in place and then move all the way towards the wall. We're testing how flexible the lat is. The lat's the biggest muscle in the upper body, biggest power producer in the upper body in the golf swing. We want that to be nice and flexible, so going into our backswing, we can keep that arm pretty straight and we can get a lot of power in the upper body as well. It's a little bit limited, so you're first having trouble with that kind of rounding out that we spoke about in the pelvic tilt. And then second, we're not getting up very high because of the limitations both in the shoulder and the lat. So the lat goes all the way down here and it attaches all the way up here. So it's a very long muscle. And for you, it's a little bit tight there too. And again, that's gonna lead to us not having the power because we can't take it into a full backswing. And if we wanna go into a full backswing and we can't keep that lat straight, what tends to happen is people stand up and find rotation elsewhere. Standing up completely in the swing is gonna lead to some flaws that we don't want. So we wanna be able to stay in that posture using the lat muscle and stretching it properly.
If you ever wondered why you might cup your wrist in the backswing, then you should try this test.
Arms out, make a fist for me. All the way down, all the way up. Okay, we were a little bit limited going down here. That's quite critical, being strong and mobile there as we take it into the backswing. If we're having weaknesses, what tends to happen is that wrist goes out and then we don't know where our club face is at impact. So being able to hold that position is going to be very crucial for us.
My overall golf fitness handicap was a 33, and it goes on a range from +7 to 36. So yeah, the 33 wasn't the best, but it also just gives me a clear starting point of what I need to work on. Glass half full, there is a way to obviously fix this, right?
Absolutely.
Is that through, I guess, like strengthening, stretching? I guess what's the approach now to actually, once you have the problem, like what do you kind of do now to solve it?
Absolutely. So we'll take your hips, for instance, a very good example of how we can help you move better. So we knew coming in a little bit, you had that pelvic tilt going forward, a little bit arch in the back. And again, that tends to happen because our hip flexors are weak or because the quads are doing the work of the hip flexor, something like that. So we have an imbalance in the front side pulling you into that position by making sure that they're released and they're not overly pulled or shortened or tight, as well as making sure that the other side functions better. We're gonna get symmetry between those, and then when symmetry comes, movement tends to follow. So we can we can do movements that help facilitate that by help strengthening the butt cheeks, making sure that the hips are not as tight. Those three systems that we talked about, the proprioception, the vestibular, and the vision, if those are improved as well, what tends to happen is your brain says, wow, now I can move better, let's unlock some movement for us. So integrating all those systems into a program that's gonna help you move better is kind of the way we specialize here. So for you, it would definitely be, I would imagine, some vestibular activity, some visual activity, as well as kind of correcting that posture with loosening up the hips as well as strengthening the backside there.
So that'll conclude this video. Hopefully you found it insightful and maybe it opened your eyes just like it did for me. I only showed a snippet of the assessment, but the full thing was close to an hour. It's very comprehensive. I would highly recommend that you get it done so that way you can know where your weaknesses are, because strength and mobility is very important in the golf game. There are numerous benefits, including injury prevention, more power, and just having a more consistent golf swing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.